Hello, hello. I am so excited for today's episode. This is something that I think is going to, well, I know is going to be so helpful for those of you who are trying to conceive right now. This topic will help you no matter what. Like I always say, literally everything is always connected. It's going to support you no matter what. But I'm specifically talking to the people who are going to want to start trying to get pregnant at some point soon, or trying, maybe have been for a while. We're talking about a piece that a lot of people miss when it comes to fertility. And obviously, like, I'm all about nutrition changes, lifestyle changes, supplementation to support your fertility. Obviously, that's like what I do as a holistic nutritionist. It's a huge part of my method, but it's only going to get you so far. And the part that we're talking about today are energy blocks. And this is so huge for clearing your system out, for making sure that everything is in like tip-top shape, optimized as possible for you to get pregnant. And this is really particularly a problem for those of you who have been maybe trying for a while because you just have more stagnant energy. So we're going to talk about all of that. So if we are solely focusing on, okay, I'm going to stop having coffee and alcohol, and I'm, having blood sugar balancing meals, and I'm reducing inflammation, doing all these things which are required for you to optimize your fertility, yes. But if you're putting all your focus there, you're ignoring a huge part of your being, because we're made of energy, right? That's not woo. I am woo, obviously, if you know me, but that's not woo. That's science. Literally, we're all made up of energy, right? There's the physical you and there's the energetic you. So to completely negate that there is an energetic component to fertility or just to anything in your life just wouldn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense because we are made up of energy. So we have to take that into consideration. So if you're spinning your wheels, you're like, I'm doing all these things, but like I'm still not getting the results I want. Obviously, I do recommend working with somebody because there could be a piece of the puzzle that you're missing that you aren't actually seeing, like from a nutrition, lifestyle, supplementation standpoint. But to go past that, we have to look at the energy side of things. So the reason why we can get this stagnant, stuck energy and that this could really block you, we're going to be talking about your sacral chakra, is because we all go through different experiences, right? We all have different forms of trauma. It could be, people say big T, little t, doesn't matter. Everyone has some form of trauma. Obviously, some people's are more traumatic than others, but we all have some form of it. Grief, suppressed emotions, unmet needs, all of these things can cause energy to just accumulate and build up in our body if we're not processing it thoroughly every single time, which even if you are someone who's very conscious of working through your emotions and, doing meditations and doing all these things, and you're like very conscious, we still have energy that gets stuck in the body. It just is what happens, and it accumulates, it gets built up, and then it gets stuck in our body, and it manifests in physical ways. And part of that we're talking about today could manifest in fertility struggles. So where the stuck energy specifically impacts fertility is when there's an energetic block in your sacral chakra. Okay, chakra, whatever. I say chakra, but anyway, if you are familiar with the chakra system, there are different points throughout our body. We're specifically talking about the sacral chakra, and this is really going to be something especially important for you if you have been trying to conceive for a long period of time, like months or years. And because over and over and over, you're like wanting that positive pregnancy test and it's not happening. So this energy gets stuck, and this sadness and this grief and this disappointment and defeat and all of this gets built up in our body. And also, if you are someone who has experienced miscarriages, this could really be an area of your body that needs some support. Your sacral chakra is in your lower abdomen. Okay, it's about 2 inches above your belly button, your navel, and it's connected to your emotions, your needs, your desires, and specific reproductive glands. So like this chakra is the chakra that like owns your reproductive system. So when we're talking from like an energetic standpoint of an energy system of like how we can support ourselves energetically and how we can do that specifically for fertility, it's your sacral chakra. So making sure that that chakra is balanced without any blockages is going to be a huge asset to your fertility journey. It's just another thing that you can do. Go the extra mile that a lot of people won't go, because it's going to make such a huge difference. And again, if we have to just understand that we are not just what we physically see. We're more than just our physical body. We're made up of more than just what we're eating, what supplements we're taking, the lifestyle choices we're making. There's so much more to us and to the world, and we have to take that into consideration if we want things to be as optimized as possible. Now, if you're like, okay, Corinne, how do I know if my sacral chakra is blocked, right? This can happen for most anybody. Most people are going to have blocks in at least one of the chakras, multiple of them, right? Because again, we just go through things on a daily basis. We don't fully process everything all the time. We don't do these modalities, which I'm going to talk about 2 ways that can really help balance all your chakras at the end of this. But physical symptoms that you could be experiencing, because it could be physical and emotional, right, are like chronic low back pain, because again, that chakra is like right below your navel, but it goes like around the whole body. So chronic low back pain, ovarian cysts, a lot of chronic UTIs, pain during sex, bladder and kidney problems, pelvic floor or lower ab issues, constipation, and infertility. Okay, so those are some physical symptoms that you might be experiencing if your sacral chakra is blocked. And then emotional symptoms you could be experiencing are difficulty expressing your needs and your emotions. If you have a really hard time asking for help or just stating like, hey, I need X, Y, and Z, if that's like really uncomfortable for you, this happens to a lot of women. Lack of creativity, you feel like super like flatlined and dull, and you don't have that creative spark that maybe you once had or that you want to have. Depression, fear, these are some emotional symptoms you could be experiencing. Now, disclaimer, obviously this is not the whole picture, right? It's not just like, oh, okay, let's balance your sacral chakra and then your ovarian cyst will go away, your constipation will go away, your fertility will go away. Like, you know, the vibe. It's never just one thing. It's never just one thing to work on. Every single thing in your body is connected, and it's never just one thing that's causing whatever issue that you are experiencing. Like, if you're obviously listening to this, I'm assuming that maybe you are either hoping to conceive soon or you've been experiencing some fertility issues. It's never just one thing that you need to work on, because we're multifaceted, right? But this is one area. So if you're experiencing any of those symptoms, this is one area for you to work on top of obviously supporting yourself with nutrition, lifestyle, and supplementation. Okay. It's always a combination of things. I always say to my clients, like, okay, I experienced X, Y, and Z. Why did this happen? And after a while, when they ask the questions, be specifically for my one-on-one clients in Voxer, they'll be like, okay, I know it's not just one thing, but what do you think it could be if X, Y, and Z happen? So it's never just one thing, it's a combination of things. Okay. But this is one piece to the puzzle. So if you have been putting in this effort to make these changes to your nutrition, your lifestyle, to support your fertility, and you understand and you know that there is an energetic side to you, which if you're listening to this, obviously you do, and you really want to go that extra step that most people won't go, here are 2 ways that I want to invite you to clear your energy blocks and really help balance your chakras out and just see what happens. Like, what I always say to people is, if it's not going to do you any harm, there's no negative side effects to improving the way you're eating. There's no negative side effects to improving things in your lifestyle and to making changes that are going to actually make you feel better. There's no negative side effects to taking proper supplementation that is actually good brands, quality, like, you know, the vibe with that. There's no negative consequence to you doing these modalities that we're going to talk about to help support your energetic fields. Like, literally no negative side effects. So it's like, why don't you just try it and do these things and see the outcome? It's only going to improve you in so many ways. Maybe it's not going to give you the exact result you want. A lot of times it can, but maybe it won't, but it's going to improve your life in so many different ways. There's no downside to it. So 2 ways to help clear your energy blocks and balance your chakras. Number 1 is breath work. This is the absolute number 1 for me. I recommend doing this if you're pregnant right now. If you're listening to this and you're pregnant, I don't recommend doing breath work when you're pregnant. It's too stimulating for your nervous system while you are going through pregnancy, which is why I'm so excited to do breath work. I'm going to be booking a session for myself soon, because as I was like thinking about this topic, I like feel it within me. I did like a little breath work session just on my own, and I like feel like emotions coming up that just like need to be really, I was like, I wanted to scream, I wanted to cry. Like, it just like comes up when you're doing it. And I was like, wow, I need to go to a session somewhere so I could like get all this out and do all of this, because I usually do like a full hour, like real intense breathwork session, maybe like a couple times a year. I haven't done it since I was pregnant and now have Madison. So I could just like feel like my body really needs it and is craving it. Breathwork is very intense when you do, like, it doesn't have to be, like, it could be very light. Like, I just did a little light breath work right before this. But if you're doing like a full breath work journey where you're doing specific breathing patterns, and you're going really deep, it really stimulates your nervous system and it really kicks things up and releases it. I've been in breathwork journeys before, like at a place with a certified breathwork practitioner. I always recommend working with someone who is certified. I don't recommend doing it on your own. Like, it's really important to have someone guide you through it, because a lot of things can come up. You could scream, you could cry. Like, I've cried in every single breathwork session I've ever done, like sobbing, and things just come up. It just happens. You don't even sometimes know why. But I've been in breathwork sessions before where people around me, no joke, they came in and they were unable to sit a specific way because for years, like I think it was cross-legged on the floor, they weren't able to bend their leg that way because of a motorcycle accident they were in years ago. It's been like decades, not exaggerating. And at the end of the breathwork session, she was like, oh my God, I could sit cross-legged. Like, and she was putting her focus on her knee during this breathwork session, release the energy, release whatever block it was, and she was able to sit cross-legged. Like, it's so insane. And I know it sounds so crazy and people like wouldn't believe it, but I literally saw it with my own two eyes. I was like, holy shit, it's wild. It's wild. But it makes sense because energy gets stuck and we have to release it. And breathwork is such an amazing way to do that. If you are in a place where you maybe don't have like access to a yoga studio that does breathwork in person or something, I really recommend doing it in person as much as you can. But if not, my girl Jordan Alexis Nolan, that's her name on Instagram, she does virtual breath work. I think I talked about this recently on a podcast episode. She's actually coming into Activate Your Fertility. She's going to be doing a breath work session with the girls. It's an intimate space where I'm helping you learn how to use nutrition, lifestyle supplementation to optimize your fertility and prepare your mind and body for pregnancy. Very, very, very small knit group because there's a lot of one-on-one time with me. If that's something you want to learn more about, just message me on Instagram or email me if you want information about that, if there are still spots open when you're listening to this. But my girlfriend Jordan, she's going to be coming in and doing a breathwork session for us because, again, this is why my programs are always different than other people's. We're not just focusing on nutrition, lifestyle supplementation. I know these women who are coming in to Activate Your Fertility who have been trying to conceive for 4 months or more. I know that they have energy that's stuck in their sacral chakra, and I want to help facilitate that release for them because it's going to support their fertility journey. So check her out on Instagram. She also has a podcast with her girlfriend, Kelsey, who I've worked with. I love her. It's called Say More Podcast. They're amazing. I'm actually going to have Jordan come on the podcast as well. Anyway, number one is breath work. Number two is Reiki. Reiki is another energy healing modality. It's not as like intense as breath work is. You work with a Reiki practitioner. My mom is actually a Reiki practitioner. So if you live local, if you're on Long Island and you're listening to this and you want to get Reiki done, my mom is amazing. She also does IET, which is integrated energy therapy. So she combines that with Reiki. She's really freaking amazing. So you could message me. I'll put her Instagram handle actually below as well. It's angelic_Reiki. If you are local to Long Island and you want to get Reiki done in person. But this is another really amazing way to balance your chakras out. It's really helpful for anxiety, depression, and stuff like that too. But it's just an energy healing practice. That's just really what it is. I've got Reiki done tons of times, especially because my mom does it. So she does it on me randomly. She'll be like, look, just come on the table for a little bit. And it's really cool. It's not as intense. You could do it while you're pregnant. You could do it while you're trying to conceive, like all the things. I did it multiple times when I was pregnant, and it's really another amazing way to balance out your chakras. It's just, it's less forceful, I would say, but both are incredible. So I highly recommend checking both those modalities out. Go the extra step. It's only going to support you, not just in your fertility, but it really helps your mood, your emotions, your vitality, your overall health and wellness, your physical being, like all of it. It can make all the difference. So if you do this, please let me know and let me know how it feels and how like the experience was for you. And if you are, if you know someone who's trying to conceive, or you have a friend that's been, struggling with any type of health issue that's going to help them, send this podcast to them. It would mean so much to me. Let me know what you think about this. I know this isn't like a typical podcast episode for us, but you know me, I'm all about the energetic side, the physical side, all of it. And I know this is going to support you if you do it. So get that sacral chakra balanced out, do some breath work, do some Reiki, and see how much it's going to support you. If you're going to pick between the two, do some breath work. It's intense, but it moves mountains. Like, let me just say that. So I'm excited for you to do this. I can't wait to hear how it turns out for you. And I will talk to you on the next episode.